Okay, ready?
Yep. Do I look at the camera?
Sorry. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I have something really different and hopefully really fun. The past few months of me doing these videos have been quite serious, and I thought, I want to do something a bit lighter. So today I've brought my amazing partner James along to do this little video with me.
I think the purpose of this video is to kind of showcase some differences in our personalities. Even though we're quite alike, there's and I've noticed it in recent times with how we've kind of gone about certain things, and I thought it'd be quite cool to do something to showcase the difference. The difference
between being an ENFP and an INFP. So how I thought we'd do this is James and we had written all these ideas down of different scenarios. We thought it'd be a cool idea to write them up and cut them up and pop them into a hat. And this is a very special hat. It is my late grandmother's, and so it's a bit of an honour to use this. So what's going to happen is, I guess we're going to take turns at drawing out a scenario, and then one person after another is going to explain what they would do as an INFP in the situation and as an ENFP in the situation. So shall we begin, James?
Yeah, let's do it. Favorite style of communication?
I just want to ask you one thing, James. Can you guess what my favourite style of communication is?
Yeah, I know what it is. Even though this is a great style of communication, videos with YouTube, it's not that, is it?
No.
What is it?
Oh, I thought you knew.
No, I know, but you need to tell.
My favourite style of communication is writing things down. Now, all of you guys know out there, and probably all of you can relate to this, that when we write things down, we are able to properly think things through and find the appropriate wording to get out exactly what we're trying to mean. So yeah, for me to be in a quiet space, and to write things down, I feel like I can accurately put my, I guess you could call it, introverted feeling onto paper and give it to whoever I need to give it to. And I also speak from feeling, so it's always about how I feel about things, about what I believe in. Yeah, I guess that really sums it up. As an INFP, I like to write things down. What about you as an ENFP?
My style is definitely vocal. I need to be able to voice what I'm feeling. My favourite style of communication is good old get on the phone and make a call. And there's been many a times that I've had to do that for Lex with various things that she's needed help with, whether it be calling the doctor or calling the daycare people or doing anything. When the written word can only get you so far, and when they don't answer the emails, good old vocal communication, I think that's a real extroverted trait that I have.
Definitely.
There's this company that I'm doing music distribution through. You can't just ring them up and talk to them because they're in America. So you have to email them, and I find it such a horrible process. I can't stand it.
That's something I'd throw on.
Yeah, you send an email, they reply, and it's just very slow. I'd rather just ring up and get everything I need to get, and I know how to ask the right questions, and I know how to talk. So
yeah, he's very quick on his feet, and even though he kind of goes away afterwards and overanalyzes what he said, he's actually really flawless at being able to talk to others, like on the phone or in person. Yeah. Well, shall we move on to the next one then?
Alright, here we go. Grandma's hat.
Grandma's hat. Oh, wrong way. How we go about undertaking important projects and ideas. How do you answer that question?
Just from the heart.
There is a saying that I like to say when it comes to the difference between INFPs and ENFPs, and that is INFPs feel before they leap and ENFPs leap before they feel. And what that basically is that INFP's primary function is introverted feeling. So we feel things out first and then we undergo our project. Through that we use our extroverted intuition. And with ENFPs, that is the opposite process. So their primary function is extroverted intuition and the auxiliary function is introverted feeling. So yeah, it's kind of the process in reverse. It's like a vice versa thing. So for me as an INFP, I really have to 100% believe in a project that I want to undergo before I even touch it. So I get, I guess it comes to me through dreams, not dreams when I sleep, but ideas can come to my head, and I kind of end up building up this repertoire of things in my head that I feel it and think maybe, this is something that I can really do, and how's this going to benefit me? How's this going to help me lead to a greater purpose, my greater purpose? And when all the pieces of the puzzle fit together, that is when I jump ahead and move on with the project. I think I answered the question for you.
As long as there is a good amount of authenticity in the first place, then I don't really have to try too much, because if it's important, it means that I won't be thinking about it just when I go to do it. I'll be thinking about it all the time. It should define me if it's really that important. I think one thing that she didn't really
cover
is that anything important for people like me and Lex comes with hand in hand with stress. Finishing any project, doing anything.
Yeah.
I recently edited my first ever music video, and there was a hell of a lot of joy in it, and also a lot of stress.
Yeah.
I go at a project with everything I have, a lot of stress, a lot of intensity.
Yeah, that's so true.
Getting it done, but coming out at the end of it feeling relieved, and
just have
tired.
a lot of feelings after you undergo a project, and when you complete a project, you have all these feelings, and that's your introverted feeling at work, going, how do I feel about this project? I feel good because I was able to express that extroverted intuition, but I also feel a little bit vulnerable because people are going to watch it and probably critique it, and I think there's probably one of the major things that defines the difference between an INFP and an ENFP, I think.
Okay, ready? Here we go. Answering a private number.
I don't answer them. I don't even answer the phone, really. They scare the bejesus out of me. It's mostly because I don't know, because I'm not prepared. I don't really know who it's going to be, what I need to say. I feel that if I need to make an important phone call, I need to do a lot of planning. And, as a socially anxious person, I find it extremely awkward. And, I just avoid them like the plague. And there's nothing really else that needs to be said about that. So, what does an ENFP do, James?
I think for me there's like a lot of anxiety. Like if I don't answer it, I can't really sit well with what could be brewing on the other side of the line. I feel like I have to face it then and there, which funnily enough is kind of like the opposite of how we deal with our health concerns, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think that's probably unrelated to MBTI. I think that's a personal matter. Oh, yes. Yeah,
so I just get on with it, answer the phone, commit to it. Again, I feel comfortable talking with strangers on the phone for some reason.
You do. You just
phone person.
You just speak really well. You ask the right questions. You respond in the right way, and I feel that for me as an INFP, I really struggle with that. I don't know what questions to ask, but when I get off the phone, then I'll be able to I'll think about it and be like, oh my gosh, I should have asked this, this and this. I'm so jealous.
I actually answer the private calls for her too, by the way.
Yeah.
Alright, next one.
Okay, for the next one. Behaviour on social media. So for me, I'm joined to a truck ton of groups. Most of those including MBTI groups. In amongst the childcare, I'll go on Facebook and interact with random people I've never ever met, and I guess we discuss about philosophical things, and also of course we see those rate me things, oh my gosh, and also every now and again an article will pop up that kind of triggers me, I guess. And I wouldn't call myself a social justice warrior, but I guess it depends what it is, that it can really get me going if it conflicts with my values. And I'll usually comment saying why I don't agree with that, and yeah.
My social media approach is try and sort of show where I'm at. If it's a photo, I like to have a caption that might have some kind of deeper meaning to it.
You have like these subtle, tasteful captions, but like with the hashtag, and it's just this like simple, subtle, tasteful hashtag. You don't need anything else, and it's like, oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, I like to kind of have layers. I like to show one thing and show something else. I like to sort of...
You have a bit of fun with it. In his Instagram, there's like a picture of him dressed up as Harley Quinn, and it's like, you know, that's the kind of thing. He just has fun with it, and he's quite bubbly and interactive, but you know, I never really see him in any kind of conflict on social media, so I think that's probably the main difference.
I asked a friend of mine, you know, he's got 5,000 followers, why do you not put more stuff on? You post like once every 2 weeks. And he's like, I just don't have the material. Neither do I. Push record and see what happens. It's quite fun, and then you got to have guts to post it.
Is it my turn to pick yours?
I'll pick.
Okay.
In a classroom / at work.
Okay. I would just keep to myself, really. I was very quiet. In one of my classes, oh my gosh, you guys are going to think I'm really ridiculous for this. But it was my sociology class, and me and this other guy, his name was Noah, we read Twilight together, and that's all we did. It was this thing that I'd do, just keep to myself in the class, reading Twilight, not talking to anyone. And that was my behaviour mostly in every single class. Yeah, I was a very quiet student, quite respectful towards my teachers. I guess the same behaviour can be said at work as well. I've been very friendly, but not overly friendly. Kind of a little bit reserved, but friendly, I guess you could say.
I think I've gotten better as I've gotten older. I definitely am prone to a little bit of chat, and even if I try and resist it,
class clown.
It doesn't. No, not the class clown. I was probably not the class clown. I was more of a socialite, really.
Like the guy everyone could like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I sort of have moments of strangeness. I actually never forget, I was in high school and Pirates of the Caribbean had come out, and I was obsessed with Johnny Depp's performance. So there was these two girls at the back of the class, and I just find myself like in these moments of like just being really into the character, and I think I said something like, "You want to do something, eh? Yeah." So then we like did some kind of like little thing, and in the voice, and trying to be like, and these kind of like this kind of real.
Yeah, the drunken.
I remember they were just like, "What the hell?" You know, but I didn't care. Definitely a bit of a chatter. I love talking, so enough of that.
My turn?
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is at social gatherings. Well, James can tell you how much I actually really benefit from being in a social situation with him. James kind of speaks on behalf of me a lot of the time. He makes it feel comfortable for me to be in at social gatherings, especially when I don't know people 100%, because if I'm going to let go completely, I feel like I have to 100% trust that that person accepts me wholly. At social gatherings, I'm very reserved. I sit and I listen and I observe. I only really speak if absolutely necessary, and sometimes even then I don't. When I start to warm up a lot more, then I can talk, especially if I have a little bit of alcohol. I'm away then. I'm just kind of a bit awkward.
I think being an ENFP or being an extrovert, my kind of extrovert, the sort of, would you say ENFPs are probably like the lowest of the extroverts?
The most introverted extroverts,
yeah, according
to the MBTI.
I think I have this kind of inherent sense of being a communicator. I have no problem most of the time just communicating and getting into it, being the centre of the chat or being right there on whatever topic everyone's talking about. I think the problem with being an ENFP is you tend to sort of come out of those situations over-analysing your performance a bit too much.
Yeah.
Whereas I think probably more of a natural extrovert just doesn't, they just see and shoot, and they don't think later on like, oh, I said that, I probably spoke a bit too much, didn't I?
But yeah, you have that element of you know, you go away and you kind of internalize the situation and how it made you feel, and maybe if, you know, you may have talked too much and, you know, you overanalyze that, but at the same time you really enjoy being able to connect with people.
Yeah. I really look forward to it. And there's been many times that we've left the party and I'm like, you said nothing. We don't have to cut that in, we'll probably leave that part out. Next one.
Someone's lawnmower going.
Answering the door to uninvited guests.
Again, I don't answer the door. No, it's just because I've had a lot of like salespeople come to the door and I find it really difficult to be able to turn them away. I just kind of feel like a bit of a dick doing that. So yeah, usually I just avoid it now because I would rather not answer the door to anyone. Even if it was a friend coming to the door, I may not be prepared. Like in my head, I may not be prepared. Plus also, sometimes I'm still in my pajamas and I feel really awkward being answering the door. Like not wearing pants, and it's just like dealing with Oscar and he's just pooped on the floor or something. So I just try to avoid it at all costs.
Again, it's probably the same sort of initial response of every question I've had is like, oh, I don't feel like doing this, I don't want to do it, but this inner voice just goes, you've got to do it, to do it. Like especially sort of people that come over, salesmen or religious people who want to entice you into something. I'm not really a person of the church, so I tend to have such a kind of like friendly, gentle persona that they see that and they're like, oh, this guy's right here we go. I'm almost one of those people that can answer the door and go, get that, but I'm not. Even though I'm close to that, I still tend to sort of engage a bit too much and start to think, oh, I need to get back to dinner or something. Yeah, I wish I could be a bit more forceful, but I'm putty in their hands really. I always win because I have the one thing going for me that I'm broke. We can't afford that. Right? You want to show your bank account.
How we end up in conflict situations. For an INFP, again, we are led by our introverted feelings. So everything that we do in life is based off what we value. And if anyone kind of steps on our values, that gets the fire-breathing dragon going. That's a little bit of an Easter egg to one of my very first videos. Please don't check that out.
Do check it out.
No. We just kind of let it go. We let it slide, but eventually it's going to build up. And then we're going to not take it anymore and we're going to snap. And when we snap, instead of it being just your average wild animal, we become a fire-breathing dragon protecting our treasure. That isn't my case. Living in an extroverted world, probably an ESTJ-based world, a lot of people don't understand how we work, and this can cause a lot of conflict. We're the type of people who like to live alternatively and to base decisions alternatively. And for a lot of other people, this can be quite confusing and they may not understand it. So I think for me, this is how I end up in conflicting situations. How about you?
How I end up in conflict situations, if my button's been pushed, if Joker mode gets engaged, that angry, dark, twisted side that's hiding in there somewhere doesn't really exist until my buttons get pushed. Hers is fire-breathing dragon, mine is
the Joker.
The Joker.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like I'm a bit of a shocker, I'll admit it. Like if you're bugging me, if there's like something like conflicting there, I won't address it. I'll just leave it and push it to the side and focus on the positive. And that's a bit of a problem because after a while, when there isn't any positives left, that's normally when the Joker or the fire-breathing dragon comes out.
So it's almost quite similar between an INFP and an ENFP. We both don't like dealing with conflict. I think he deals with conflict in a more graceful way than me. When I'm pushed to my brink, it's not pretty. I end up like Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. But for James, he does really well at figuring it out and being able to talk it through with whoever he's in a conflicting situation with. Even if it does take a little bit of time for him to get there, he does end up facing it very, very well.
I think I can look on myself a little bit as well. I'm able to point out the things that I can improve on. As much as the ego or your pride takes a bit of a hit, sometimes it's important to be able to like work out what you need to work on as well, and also compromise. I think a good example of that, how we deal with conflicting equations, like the fireworks have been going off like crazy in recent times, and it keeps waking our baby up, and it's like we just sit down to watch a movie or catch up, have some time together, and then bang 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 the fireworks go off. Oscar wakes up and it's really annoying, and Lexi wants to call noise control, whereas I think instantly like, oh, but I'm a singer and I'm in the studio every night tracking music and singing really loud.
Very cooperative.
Yeah, I feel like if I tell the neighbours off, that they're just gonna be like, oh, well, what about every night when you're making noise? I always think of what's their counter move, so that stops me from making a move. I know that I'm not perfect. Yeah, Lexi's very quiet, and I'm a little bit louder. So we work well.
I think we complement each other. It's a breath of fresh air to be with someone who understands me and who doesn't believe that I need to change who I am. And, you know, he's the first feeler that I've ever been with, and I really love it. I think we work really well together. I mean, the only thing is that our house is just a bit of a mess, and I have to say that's the only thing, you know, in our case. To wrap all of this up, I think there are major differences between INFPs in the way that INFPs feel and then leap, ENFPs leap and feel, but there are also similarities. We do feel the same a lot of the time, and it's just how we react to it. You know, that's probably the main difference. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think she probably has a little bit more of a contentment with hiding in her shell.
I'd like to do more of this, and if you guys want more of this too, then I'd love to know.
Well, don't say it like it's going to be everybody. If you don't think I'm a complete mess, then say you're not a complete mess, and you can get better. Yeah, but thanks for having me, and I'll let Lexi sign off now.
I hope you really enjoyed this video. I'm very much open to requests as well, so if you have any suggestions or requests, please put them in the comments. And yeah, I hope you have a really good day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you guys all again next time. Bye.